let's continue polishing the first segment of our animation. So we'll hit play again to see how it's coming along and what needs to be changed. We also want to scrub through slowly. Okay, so for one, before we even get to him leaning into the wagon, let's pay a little bit more close attention to this beginning section here. We want his eyes to be still looking forward and still a bit tired looking before he actually looks over at us. So let's go ahead and go back to our graph editor and perspective view and work on those changes. We'll start by selecting his eyebrow controls, and we don't want them opening up until he really starts to look over. And we could actually add a little bit of funny type of expression to this. So let's say on frame, say 21, just to add a small offset, we'll keep them closed a little bit more. And then for the eyes themselves, we'll have them also looking over at the position that they're in on frame 1 on 21. So we'll go to frame 1, middle click 21 and press Shift W to lock in the pose. So here's what we have. So he looks over. And then, as he does look over, the eyes are going to lead here. The eyes are going to be a little bit faster than the head. So on 24, we could have him looking at the camera, and if we need to, we can show the camera here, which might not be a bad idea. Okay, so he's looking at the camera, maybe even rotate this control to fix his eyes a little bit here. Okay, so he's looking, and what we'll also do is on 25, let's select this right brow control and just bring that down so it's a little bit more closed, so we get this type of expression out of the eyes. And then when he spots us, that's when both eyes open wide. And then for the eyebrows, as he does his double look and goes to this pose on 40, we could actually have them open up sooner. Let's say on frame 33 or even 34, we could have them open up a little bit sooner. And then a couple frames after, drop them a little bit just for some subtlety afterwards. Okay. So this area is looking much better. So now as we continue, let's go ahead and make sure that we can't really add anything else to this area. Of course, we want to add a little bit of follow through in his head. So he's moving back and forth, and we can add that in the Z. So he's moving over and then starts to move to his back to his right. Can on about frame 16 just rotate the head to his left. And then at the beginning, as he's moving to the left, let's say on about frame 5, we have him rotate his head to his right. So we get a nice little follow through. Great. And also, speaking of follow through, as he looks over, we can actually offset his rotation X so that as he looks down here at about this time, it's not all happening at the same time. We could actually just take this key on frame 29, hold shift and middle mouse button, click and drag one frame down so that there's just a little bit of offset here to make it look more natural as he looks over. So of course we can see how this is looking in our shot camera. Hit play. Alright, great. Now we're at the part where he's about to do his leaning into the wagon, so we can go back to the perspective. And the timing is not too bad when he does lean in. Remember, we did want to correct the eyes here. And we can have him moving a little bit faster into this pose. So, what we can start by doing is working with the eyes so that they'll still look to the camera. And we'll even hit play just to get a feel of what we're trying to accomplish here. So at about frame 80, we still want him to be looking at the camera. So let's bring the control so that it's going to be pointed at the camera, and we could even go back to our shot camera just to make sure of that. Okay, then going back to the perspective, can scrub through to see how this looks. And then notice now the timing is much better when he looks down. And remember, the eyes are more often than not going to move a little bit faster than the head would. They're really going to lead, and then the rest of the body's going to follow. And of course that all depends, but in this case, we're going to want him to look down a little bit faster. So we could always take the pose we have for the eyes on about frame 91, can go a frame before just so that there's a little bit of movement, and go middle click on frame 85 and press Shift W to lock the eyes there so that they look down quickly. And let's go ahead and hit play to get a feel of the timing. Alright, I think that's quite well. Alright, great. So now, as he's starting to lean in, let's go ahead and speed up the timing on which that's happening. We could even turn on our character set here. And possibly see if we can just add a hold with all of his controls. So, going to this key on frame 70, let's move that back a little bit more to about, let's say, 72. Hit play. Alright, I think that's looking alright. I think we could even move it up one more frame to about 71. Even that one frame difference can mean a whole lot, believe it or not. And then we can turn off our character set here. Hit play. Alright, so we don't want the arm, this left arm, for example, to lean up against the window just yet. So let's go ahead and select all of his controls here that are basically moving at this time. So that's the arms. We can even grab the shoulders. We don't want to forget those. Finger controls. Okay, we'll make sure we add that to our selection. The head control. Definitely the chest, the back, and the center of gravity. And we don't want to forget the elbows as well. And let's see, as we get to about frame 57, kind of like him to keep that motion there all the way till he actually moves in. So we can go ahead and see how that looks. We can go to frame 57 and then middle click on about 71 and just go ahead and press S to lock in a key on all of those controls there that we have selected. So we'll hit play. Alright, great. And then we could even see how this looks in our shot camera. Hiding our curves. Hitting play. Great. So this is coming along very well. And let's say we go ahead and just stop the lesson here and continue working on this section in the next lesson.